Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello here, Lori from Interior Jewels. How are you? I am here making a summer swag that is going to have a bee theme. So I am doing this in yellow. I have my basic small, this is a small swag, but by the time that I get done with it, I really hope to enlarge it. I have started with some yellow mesh, which was a roll of yellow mesh. I took it and just did poofs going around the outer edges of it, sort of just to frame it out. And the rest of the roll I have cut into 13-inch pieces, of which I am going to do cruffles, and I am going to disperse them all around the swag. And again, it's going to enlarge the size of the swag. So the way that I do the cruffles is, you can see how this automatically folds on itself. I let both ends fold, and then I sort of walk it into each other and scrunch it. And you end up with what is called a cruffle. And I will put these sort of all over. And this is a pine base swag. So I just use the pine needles to tie these in. Again, I'm starting with a small swag here. If I don't have enough pine needles, or if the pine needles are not in the location that I need them, sometimes I will use small wire ties. These are little ones. These are 5 inches. So if I need to get a piece in a location where there may not be pine ties, I will use these. So I'm just, again, I have these all pre-cut. It's one roll that I used. I did the poof method first, and now I'm just going to put these cruffles in. And I'm just going to keep adding them, sort of to get them evenly throughout the piece. I added them on that side, so I'm going to be sure to add them on this side. You sort of want balance as you're going along. So if you add it on one side, you may want to add it on the other side. I don't have a specific recipe that I use for this. I just used one roll of mesh, and however far that takes me, that's what I am going to do. I am also going to be able to be putting a bow on here, which I will make that out of 3 ribbons that I have here. I'm also going to add a sign to this one. Let's see where I can put this. And again, wherever you can fit them, that those ties are there. And see, when you put them on the side like this, already it starts to expand in size. I love doing swags like this. Whenever you can find, this was actually a Christmas swag that was on sale after the holidays. I love getting the pine wreaths or the pine swags, and those are the things that I add mesh to. Typically, in making wreaths, my favorite wreaths to make are grapevine wreaths. So whenever I get these pine bases, that's what I like to add the mesh in. I want to see how many more I have. I have 3 more here. I know I definitely want to put one at the bottom. Let's see where we can put this. I like to add things to the bottom of especially a swag because it adds length to it. And then I think I'll put One right there. These cruffles are so easy and quick to make. And it really does give a great look in these swags. There's one, I'll add one on the other side, and those just went in so quickly. I'm also going to add greenery to this, but I first want to get my bow and my sign in so I sort of know where to place the greenery. Okay, so there, we have our base. If you need to manipulate these to give yourself a shape, you can do that. I have all my greenery in the middle because I will be inserting more greenery into this. Here is a little wood sign that I made. I painted this yellow, I stenciled the word welcome on it, and I actually freehand that bee. I am no artist by any stretch of the imagination, but a bee was pretty simple to paint. So that's going to be my theme. I think that I will put in some, I have miniature sunflowers here, and I have a bunch of greenery that we're going to put in. Also, I'm working with these 3 ribbons. I have the black and white, I have the one that has the bee on it, and I have a yellow and white check. So I'm thinking I want my bow to come here. I may put long tail so I have that cascading down. I'm trying to determine where I want this. I think I'm going to put this right here. Just so you know, I do have a video on this you may want to know too. This is a wood sign. On the back, to prevent, I stapled these pipe cleaners on because this is how I will attach it to the wreath. But to prevent staples from coming through the front of your sign, I always put a little piece of leftover ribbon that I fold around a few times, put that down, put my pipe cleaner on it, and then I staple. I do have, there is a video if you look through my videos. I'm just going to put this on my table so I can make this a little bit easier to get through here and be able to get the pipe cleaners from the back. This is the tricky part. I mean, it goes together very easily, but it's easier to do it while you have it laying down sometimes. And as I have both of those, I will tie off the pipe cleaner in the back. And let's see where I will put this one. Stick this through. And then stick this through over here. You sort of want to get it around the spine of the swag so that it is attached to something permanent and sturdy, so that we know this is not going to go anywhere. I always like to put mine on a little bit of an angle too, my sign. I don't know, I feel like it gives it a whimsical look. Okay, I think I have that there. So there's the sign, and now I'm thinking I would like my bow up there. So let's make the bow, and then I will start to add in the greenery, because you know, if I put my greenery first, the sign may have gone right on top of it, which is just a waste. So I like to put my big elements on it first, Then I will add in any florals or greens that I'm going to add. So let's make a bow here. And again, my thought, sometimes the design that I have in my head or what I'm thinking changes as I go forward. Now this is a design that has a right way. I don't want my bees upside down. So what I'm going to do is cut some long lengths because I want long tails that are going to billow down. And I want to make sure that they go in the right direction. So I'm going to cut those off. I'm going to cut this one off too. I'm cutting my tail separate because I want to make sure that they are going in the right direction. So right now I'm only going to do my loops. Let me get a pipe cleaner ready, and also going to, you know what? I'm going to take 2 pipe cleaners, only because I want to make sure that it's long enough when I go to attach my bow to get to the back of this. So to make sure that it's long enough, I just twist 2 together. So let me do my loops. See how big we want these. A little bit bigger than I think I need. Let's see. That looks like a good size. And these are about 6-inch loops. So I made my loops. I'm going to twist. I'm going to make 2 loops on each side of this bee ribbon. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it past the middle so that when I secure this, it's going to stay secure. I just like to fluff them a little bit so I know what shape this is taking on. Then I will go with my yellow check. Now this one I'm going to keep. There's no wrong or right or directional pattern on this. So I'm going to put some tails on this. I'm going to go long. I can always cut them short later. And this has no wrong or right side, so I don't need to twist this. I'm just going to make some loops here. Make sure I have them the right side, the same size on each side. I hold them up to make sure that they are. I'm going to make 2 loops on each side with this as well. I'm going to cut my tail off approximately the same size as the other one. I'm holding it in the middle. So I have 2 loops on each side of each ribbon. And I am also going to do the black and white. I'm going to make those tails just as long. I'm only going to put 1 loop of this. This is my favorite ribbon. I think I say that in every single video that I've done, but it truly is my favorite ribbon. It just goes with so many things, and it certainly goes with a bee theme. So I'm only going to do one loop on each side of that. I'm also going to do, I'm going to cut off a little piece of this. And what I do is just make a circle with this to put this in the middle. That will cover my zip tie when I put that in there and finish off the bow. I'm also going to add these tails to the back of it, and I'm adding them so I know that the bee pattern is going to fall correctly. It's not going to be upside down. So I'm just adding these lengths of ribbon on the back. And now I'm holding it all in the middle. I'm scrunching it, and I'm going to go with my cable tie right through that center loop that I made. Make sure you have your bow in the middle so that your loops are the same size on each side. If you're not in the middle, you will have bigger loops on one side than the other, and we don't want that. So let's make sure. Okay. I'm going to start tightening this. And before I get it all the way tight, I'm going to put in my pipe cleaner because that's how I'm going to secure it to my swag. Pull that through and then finish pulling my pipe cleaner. Cut that off. And now I'm going to fluff this up a little bit. What an adorable bow. My tail's coming down. Okay, so now let's see where I would like to place this. I'm thinking I would like this up here. Let's see if I can do this without taking it down. Again, I always try and go around the main spine so that it is totally secure. Let's see where we want to go in here. I'm going to feed this through the back. And I like using pipe cleaners to attach my bow in items that I have mesh on. Rather, if I'm working on a grapevine wreath, I attach it with another zip tie. But I don't want to do that in something like this because the bow will then sink into the design, and you don't want that. I sort of want it to sit on top and not be sunk in so you can see the beauty of the bow. I'm just twisting that pipe cleaner now so that this bow stays nice and secure. And then I am going to fluff up this bow. And what I would like to do is have this come down. To make billows coming down. Sometimes I have to pull this a little tighter because, or a little looser, each of the ribbons. This way you can see all three when I billow it. And what I'm doing is squeezing this ribbon here. And let's see where I can put this. And again, if I don't have the perfect place to do this, or I don't have pine tines to attach this, I will use those little, which is the case here. I'm going to use one of these small zip ties to attach this. to a single piece of pine that I have here. So bear with the back of my head while I get this in place and get it started. There. And once I pull that tight, you can't see it. Which is perfect. That gave that a pretty little billow. Now I'm going to see what I'm going to do with these tails because I don't want them to cover my sign here. And sometimes you don't have to do both of them. You know, if I just wanted to billow one side, I can do that. I don't necessarily have to do both. I don't think that this is totally hiding this, so I think we're going to go with it. And again, I'm going to use one of those zip ties. I'm going to scrunch this. I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to get my billow. And get myself another zip tie because I have one pine tie in here that I am going to attach this to. Bear with me here a second. Sometimes it gets tricky to see back here. I don't want to lose the spot that I'm connecting this to. Okay, I got it. Okay, so now what I will do is clip off the ends of those zip ties. And once they're on there, you can't see that. And I'm going to leave these ribbons a little bit longer. Again, it elongates the length of the swag when you have the ribbons come down. And I like to do them at different lengths so that you can see all of the ribbon. See, now I did waste quite a bit there, but I don't get rid of anything. I save all this. You never know what projects you can use those in. And I could even use it to put other pieces of ribbon up here. We'll see. Let's cut this. And see what I mean? For a small swag, this all of a sudden has taken on a new shape and a new size. Can you see that? Yep. Let's have these come out. A welcome sign. And you know what? I think I will add some... You know what? I think I'm just going to add the black and white to the top. I'm going to add a few more billows in this. I'm just cutting off a length of ribbon. I have 2 tines here where I can attach this. I'm going to twist it. And then... I need another zip tie here. I'm going to attach this here. Cut off the edge of that zip tie. That again is hidden. I'm going to dovetail the ends of that ribbon and see how it just added something else to this side of it. So I'm liking the shape of this now. So pretty. All right, let me get my ribbons aside, and now I'm going to start adding greenery. And I think that I am going to add some of those mini sunflowers. Again, I never get rid of any of my ribbon. You never know what project you can use that in. Put that on the side. Now I have some of my greenery here, and let's see. These were part of a garland. I love, sometimes you can get a really good deal on the garlands rather than the bushes of florals. You know, so pay attention to your prices. Because when you look at the garland, you know, sometimes it'll say a 9-foot garland, and you start looking at the pieces on it and say, oh, gee, I can get 20 pieces on this, whereas you may only get 8 stems on a floral bush. So sometimes it's economical to get garlands. And something like this, I cut off into little pieces, especially in a swag, and I will just start adding these all over. So let me cut this off in 2 pieces. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's start with this. And what I do is I put glue on the end. And these are going to stick right in. It starts to give the piece movement, fullness, and a richness with these pieces of greenery. And again, it is making the piece bigger. That is my goal. I started off with a small swag, and with adding these pieces, I basically like doubled the size of the swag once it's finished. Put that one back there. Sometimes you sort of want to manipulate what's in there. So I'm going to keep cutting off pieces of this. I'm going to sporadically put this through the entire piece. And again, I get a lot of little pieces off things like this. Put my glue on the end. Put one here. So it's sort of flowing out the edge. I have one there, so I'm going to mimic the same thing on this side. You always want to keep standing back and looking at it to make sure that you have balance. And you see a shape going on. Add another piece here. I'm going to do the same on that side. I'm going to cut off some more pieces. This cut's so easy. I don't know what this garland is called. If it's some type of eucalyptus. It's a neat garland. This came from Hobby Lobby. One in here, and I will add other pieces of greenery as well, and I sort of just keep filling it up to make sure that I get the fullness that I want. See, now I'm going to go around the sign that I put in here, rather than if I had put this greenery first and then put my sign, I would have covered some of the sign. And I don't want to do that. glue strings. Couple more pieces here. One over there. Let's see how many more pieces I'm going to get out of this. I don't think I have any more of this. This is going to be the last one of this. So let's see where I want to place these. These are great projects too. As I said, I don't get rid of anything. If I'm using greenery and I don't use the whole bush, whatever I have left over on this, these are great projects to put those extra leaves in. Like I have many little pieces here that's exactly what I'm going to do with this. Now I had one more here. Where do I want this to go? You know what? That one I want to go on the bottom, so I think I'll have this go over there. I also have a piece of this. This was a huge bush, but I love the shape of this, how this comes into a point. So I'm going to take a piece of this and put this on the bottom. Again, this is going to elongate the shape of this. Just cut off the piece here. Let's see where I'm going to fit that. Yeah, perfect. I don't necessarily know what the names of these pieces are, but I just know that they fit in there perfectly. And again, see how that elongated that? My ribbons. I'll continue to fluff these up because as I'm working around them, they sort of get crushed, but that will all be fixed in the end. Here is another remnant of a garland that I had. It's just called Greenery Garland. It said it was 6 foot. This is what I have left over from it. So I'm going to cut off the pieces of this, and I'm going to add this to this piece. And again, I can get quite a few pieces off this. This is another type of, this almost looks like a succulent. I'm not sure what the name of it is. This also came from Hobby Lobby, and they don't put the names of it on it. The tag just said Greenery Garland. So I'm just going to cut this off in all the little pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 pieces out of that. So I can see some holes in here in the middle. And I'm going to add that to right above that sign. I was sort of going around the edge before. Now I'm going to start filling in the middle. I like to use my greenery pieces to fill in the middle. And then at the end, I will add flower blooms if I am using flower blooms. And that's my idea in this one. Ow, glue burn. Be careful. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, I can't tell you how many blisters I've had from glue burns. Put that one up there. Where else do we need to fill in over here? How many do I have? I have 4 left. I think I definitely want to add one in here. I'm going to get in here between this bow. And again, it sort of just starts to take shape. Where else do we need? Open there. One more piece. We'll go on this side. And again, you sort of use your vision just to look and say, where does it look like it needs to be filled in a little bit more. All right, just to give you an idea, I'll show you that a little bit closer so you can see how this started filling in with all of that greenery. Look how pretty that is. So now, let me see if this is really what I want to do. Yeah, I definitely think that I'm going to add these in here. Let's see. Cut off a few of these. Make sure I put the leaves up, push them up to the top. And each of these have 3 little blooms on it. And I like to get the greenery in there with it as well. Just going to cut up this whole bush. This is one bush that I will finish. Come on. Jeez. Make sure you take off your tag. My pet peeve is these price tags. I wish that they would just put them on the bottoms of the bushes and not right in the middle of each stem where you're going to be cutting off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I want to make sure that I get them evenly dispersed throughout. Just putting glue on the end, and I'm going to stick them in. And a very wispy, flowy kind of design this is. This is not a formal design. There was no recipe for this. I sort of just knew the colors. I made the sign and knew that I wanted a bee theme in a yellow and black colorway. See, have that flow out the side. Have one go on the other side as well. Oh, this one has a lot of stems on it. I think I'll put that one on the bottom. I'm keeping them long so I can really get them up into the greenery of this and that they secure themselves.
Putting burgers on the grill. You want anything?
No, thanks. here. Have that sort of come out. I had one here and one here, and that's exactly what I have left, is 2 of them. And we'll do the one there. And then I think we are done with this beauty. I think she is so precious. A perfect summertime swag. This could go on a front door. This can go on a front porch. This can go on an interior wall in your home. On a porch, a back deck. For any of you that decorate outdoors. You know, I'm getting ready to do my summer deck, and this would be perfect for that. I don't want to cover my sign so much here. So, let's see. I think she is finished. What do you think? Have our little bee welcome wood sign. We have our bow with the cascading tails coming down and billowing. I put another black and white ribbon here. Again, no bow here. It doesn't need loops. I just put tails and billowed that down. Filled it with greenery and put some of the mini sunflowers in. I think that this is a perfect summertime wreath to welcome your guests. Please let me know if you have any questions or what you think of this. I'd be happy to answer them. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my page so you will know when new videos come up. And if you're looking for something specific, a project that you would like to learn how to do, whether it's wreath swags, floral centerpieces, let me know in the comments. And I would be happy to do that for you. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night. I'll